So yeah, hey guys, I'm going to be returning the Sony MDR-1AM2s because of the 8K peak mainly. I complained about it as soon as I got them and as soon as I tested them in my review. It's not the end of the world. I'm sure a lot of you guys can put up with it. The overall tonality of these is very, very transparent, very, very good. The kind of 8K peak is nasally. It's bothersome. And this is where we're at the last 5% of audio quality, and where every little tidbit of the frequency response counts as a factor when determining, which equipment I should be using. I don't typically care about having a closed back headphone. And if you're trying to get a closed back headphone, this is a really good option. It's disturbingly good, besides the 8K peak tonality that I discussed. That sounds, I guess the best way to describe it is, I think it's an overused term, but nasally. Just whatever you feel the 8K peak sounds like, that's what this has. Okay? And sometimes I get used to it. It's not always that apparent. Sometimes it sticks out more than other times. And again, the bass is fun sometimes. It's a good headphone. I like it. But I have to admit, the Biodynamic DT990 250 ohm Pros sound more transparent, more clean in the treble with worn ear pads than the Sonys. And that, I kind of talked about use cases, okay, this is the best closed back headphone I've ever used, or this is the best true wireless earbuds I've ever used. Well, again, I don't need a closed back headphone. I use open backs just fine. So this is not a necessity that I need a closed back headphone. It's kind of the same with the SimGot EM6Ls. The SimGot EM6L earbuds are better than the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros. If these were both wired IEMs, I would get rid of the Buds Pros because they sound lumpier and more unnatural in the upper mids and treble. The SimGot EM6Ls sound better than the Buds Pros, but why do I have both? Because I use the Bud Pros with my cell phone, or when I'm walking around and I need a wireless thing, So I keep the Buds Pros around. I buy Buds Pros because they're the best true wireless IEMs that I've ever used. And I need these when I'm out and about. When I'm sitting at a computer, there's never really a case where I'm like, damn, I wish I had a closed back. I'm perfectly fine using open back headphones. So both of these headphones are competing for the same use case, basically. And in that regard, the DT990s are smoother in the treble, more musical in the air frequencies. They have a more balanced sounding bass. And, they're open back, so that's kind of a benefit. I can hear my surroundings and stuff like that. So again, I think these things are incredible. The Sonys. Just because I'm returning them does not mean that you should return them or that you shouldn't get them, because this is the last 5% of sound quality. A lot of people talk about that. We're squeezing out every little percentage of sound quality. And again, I got two headphones with the same use cases. I was thinking, hey, the closed back bass boost makes these separate from the DT990s in some regard. If I want crazy bass, if I want isolation, that was my excuse for keeping these. But honestly, these two headphones are interchangeable for the same use case. And in that regard, I just feel like the DT990s are more balanced, more musical, a cleaner sound with worn ear pads anyway. And these are just more nasally and lo-fi in the treble and air frequencies. And then again, the bass, sometimes fun to listen to, sometimes a little bit overwhelming. But amazing headphones with a couple of flaws. You know, this is all about evaluating different flaws on different headphones, different audio equipment. Again, I would get rid of the Buds Pros. I would get rid of the Sony's 1AM2s. And, you know, my top two picks for a over-ear, DT990s for an over-ear, SimGaudy M6Ls for earbuds. These things, spectacular, you know, fits most of my use cases besides the fact that they're not wireless. And again, that's the reason why the Buds Pros are still sticking around. So, you know, that's all I really wanted to say. I will be boxing up the Sonys again. I like them. You know, they give you a different experience. The bass boost, you know, these are really good. I really do like them. You know, just like I like the Buds Pros, but you know, the Buds Pros have a use case. These, you know, again, you can use it for sound isolation, but yeah, I don't really need that, so returning them.